The character of Lamia is presented to us as exotic and also as indeterminate or unstable, by which I mean she's very hard to pin down. In this first description of Lamia, she shimmers and fluctuates in a succession of images associated with luxuries and faraway places.
She was a Gordian shape of dazzling hue, vermilion-spotted, golden, green and blue, striped like a zebra, freckled like a pard, eyed like a peacock, and all crimson barred, and full of silver moons that, as she breathed, dissolved or brighter shone, or interwreathed their lustres with the gloomier tapestries. So, rainbow-sided, touched with miseries, she seemed at once some penanced lady elf, some demon's mistress, or the demon's self.
Here, as other parts of the poem, Lamia is evasive. She eludes us readers. Whenever we try to get a good look at her, she seems to dissolve or change. And this instability in Lamia isn't just to do with physical form, it's also temperamental. Think of Lamia's first exchange with Lysias, in which she keeps changing her approach on how she should engage with him. First, Lamia allows Lysias to believe that she is a goddess, but she realizes that this won't suit her ends. He is simply too intimidated to fall wholly in love with her. So instead she tries to persuade him that she is a local maiden who has seen him about the streets of Corinth. And by now we readers are primed to suspect that appearances will differ from reality in this poem. Notice too how the contrary aspects of Lamia in this scene correspond to the absurd contradictions of masculine desire represented in Lysias. He expects Lamia both to be innocent and to demonstrate good sexual technique.
Ah, happy Lysias, for she was a maid more beautiful than ever twisted braid, or sighed, or blushed, or on spring-flowered lea spread a green kirtle to the minstrelsy, a virgin purest-lipped, yet in the lore of love deep learned to the red heart's core.
But don't be too quick with your cliches about the male gaze and all of that, because equally Lamia objectifies Lysias in her pursuit of him. Overall, love itself, romantic love, regardless of biological sex, is subject to a somewhat cynical treatment in this poem. At times, the narrative takes on a man-of-the-world sort of ironic tone towards love, as in the beginning of part 2, which is somewhat Byronic in nature. The lovers mutually enjoy their palace of sweet sin. The damage that Lamia does to Lysias, draining him vampirically, is insidious. It is not obvious to us. And this allows some ambiguity as we read as to who is the real victim. It is Lysias who sets in motion the decisive action of the poem in his insistence, despite Lamia's contrary wishes, that he no longer just enjoys her privately, but displays her to an envious public.
What mortal hath a prize that other men may be confounded and abashed withal, but lets it sometimes pace abroad, majestical, and triumph? As in thee I should rejoice, amid the hoarse alarm of Corinth's voice.
Strangely, Lysias seems to recognize that he is in danger while simultaneously suppressing it. What else could be meant by the hoarse alarm of Corinth's voice? Lamia reluctantly agrees to the wedding, and now it seems that it is she who is acting under the compulsion of Lysias. She burned, we're told. She loved the tyranny. Lamia remains a figure for the artist, or the poetic imagination, in her ability to create, to generate illusions. The illusion of their lavish lifestyle and the wedding feast that will follow. And we readers need to reflect on the nature of that enjoyment. Is that enjoyment negated? Is it entirely false simply because its material basis is illusory. Rounding off this section that focuses on Lamia's character, I want to flag up two of the new things Keats has introduced to his source material in relation to her character specifically. The first is that we can see, to an extent, that Lamia is a sympathetic figure. But secondly, and unlike the original account in Philostratus' Life of Apollonius of Tyana, reproduced in Robert Burton, Keats's Lamia kills Lysias. Her magic is actually fatal to him. He cannot survive her disappearance.